5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. Happy Friday. It is the end of the work week and the start of some crazy mess that we are about to get into. But I hope everyone had a fine week. I did. And y'all already know. Netflix is going to find the craziest mess that has happened in this world. They're gonna put them people in front of a camera and they're gonna make a documentary about it. That's the Netflix formula. Anything crazy, absurd, unbelievable that goes down, they got anything to do with some crazy mess, Netflix is gonna put a camera in some folks' faces and they're gonna say, so tell us the story. We have covered quite a few crazy Netflix documentaries on this channel. I mean, crazy stuff. Okay. We have gotten into the Tinder swindler. Oh my God. Does anybody remember the damn Tinder swindler? Now, that was a crazy as wild ride. The Our Father documentary where that man was inseminating thousands of people with his own seed. Like, it's done been some crazy documentaries that have come out of Netflix, and we got another one. Now, I will say, of the crazy Netflix documentaries that I have sat through and that I have talked about on this channel, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. This one right here, this was kind of light work. This was crazy. This was crazy. But I've seen crazier when it comes to a Netflix document. Like, I have heard some wild stuff. This was tame. This was tame. This was very tame. We got some crazy white people drama going down. And we have a poll in the chat because the crazy people in the documentary talks about Disney. They're obsessed with Disney, raised on Disney. And then I saw people on social media talking about folk, like they called it, what did they call it? Oh my God, I'm mad I can't think of the term. They had a term for it. It was like Disney adults or something. Oh dang, I'm so mad I can't think of what it was. I should have put it in my notes. I took some notes watching this crazy thing, and I should have jotted this down. I'm so mad I can't think what it was, but it's like a term. It is a name for the adults that are obsessed with Disney. Because the dude in the documentary, the girl in the documentary, the folks in the documentary was obsessed with Disney. They go to Disney multiple times a week. They wanted to buy a place to live based on being able to see Disney from the balcony, like obsessed. So I'm trying to figure out, because if you've been on this channel, you already know I wasn't raised on Disney. I haven't even seen most of Disney. I've never seen Lion King. I've never seen, what's another, Toy Story. Is Toy Story Disney? I think it's Disney. I don't know, child. But the point is, I wasn't raised on Disney. I was raised on horror movies. Okay, so I don't know about that breed of folks that was raised on Disney. So I'm trying to figure out: do Disney really make the people crazy? Does Disney really make the people crazy? Because the folks in this doc, oh, they was crazy. Oh, they were crazy. Hey, pretty girl Danny, shout out to you. Thank you so much for being here in the live. I'll say no from a nostalgia perspective, but Disney exposed to be sketchy as F for a long time and involved. What? Well, I don't know nothing about that. I'm talking about the people. I don't know nothing about. I've never heard of that in my life. I don't know nothing about that. But I'm just talking about the people that were raised, the viewers of Disney, not the folks, at Disney. Because a lot of people are saying, when I saw people talk about the documentary, they're saying they avoid dating Disney adults. I think that's what they called it, but I feel like that may not be it. It was like a term that they were calling adults that are obsessed with Disney. I'm gonna just say Disney adults because I feel like that's what's in my memory bank. But I'm just trying to figure out, child, are we blaming the Disney movies? Are Disney movies the root of all evil? Are Disney movies turning these kids into crazy ass adults? I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, so the documentary A Toxic Love Story that we are about to get into, like I said, I thought this was good. It was good. I watched it yesterday. It's not my favorite. It's not the best. I've seen better Netflix documentaries. Um, and I feel like just the way they composed the documentary wasn't the best because I actually had to go to another source to get some more information. Like it just wasn't as well rounded and informed as I have seen Netflix documentaries be. And I feel like it was light work compared to all the crazy ass documentaries from Netflix that I have covered on this channel. It was light work. So let's get into A Toxic Love Story. We got a couple characters. We got like a married couple, an ex, best friends, old ex. So we're going to break this down a bit. We're going to start with the married couple. So, and do I even have to say this some white people mess? This some white people mess. I was so happy when Nan Negro in sight. Okay. We don't need diversity here. Keep the Negroes out of it. Please keep the Negroes out of it. This is some white people ish that we about to get into. So we have a married couple, Ian and Angela, and we okay. So this kind of how my brain works because I've seen quite a few like documentaries, true crime. If you don't see the person telling their story, it usually means they dead. They not here to tell their story. And when you have a certain setup, when the person is there telling the story, they telling the story from behind bars, child. One thing I did like about this documentary is they kind of subverted what you thought was going to happen. They did have really good rug pull moments. So we're talking about the married couple, Ian and Angela, and it starts off with Ian's BFF telling a story. So I'm like, okay, if Ian not here to tell his own story, I'm guessing he lost his life because we have a married couple that is being stalked and harassed by Ian's ex-girlfriend, Michelle. And yeah, okay, so Ian's BFF, we start the documentary with her telling the story about Ian. And okay, y'all, now see, I feel like in another life, I could have been a real good detective. Look, I feel like I could have been a real good detective. Okay, Encyclopedia Brown, got me prepared. And when I tell you, anytime there's a mystery or a riddle, I am so good at riddles and brain teasers. It's uncanny how I always get on right. And when I be watching stuff, I just be feeling like I'd have been a good detective. Now, let me tell you why I'm saying that. Because the BFF, when we're first introduced to her telling the story, she makes it a point to hammer home and put a lot of emphasis on she is not in love with her BFF Ian. There's nothing romantic. That is just her best friend. That's her road dog. And I'm just like, why are you putting so much sauce on that girl? Like, we didn't even need kind of that. You could have just said, I'm a friend. I'm the best friend. I just don't know why she had to put all that sauce on it, but we gonna find out why she put all that sauce on it. If you ask me, we're gonna find out. What is I can't think of the term. I think you're trying to say like the term, but it's like some kind of Disney adult that was calling the people, hey, Anakin, not Vader, thank you so much for being here in the live. The people who go to the parks every day, every other day. So, yes, that's the people several times a week in general. Yes, they crazy because why you need to immerse yourself in this much kitty stuff unless you oh damn. Okay. Unless you broke it. Yo, you are missing out for real. So I've covered a lot of Netflix docs on this channel, and when I tell you they be crazy as hell, this wasn't the craziest, but this is crazy. I think the craziest, I mean, just unbelievable Netflix docs would be the Tinder Swindler, the Our Father documentary. That man was inseminating thousands of people. Tinder Swindler, of course, was, people on Tinder swiping left, swiping right in these virtual reality relationships, giving people all kind of money. Keith Sweet Pray and Obey was crazy, and it was sad what the religious people be doing to them young kids. Oh, you know what? Escaping Twin Flames, because y'all be crazy. It's something. Humans are desperate. Humans are so desperate. Humans are so love deprived. Humans are insane. But yeah, you be missing out. So we're getting into telling the BFF is telling the story. So they're being harassed by Ian's ex Michelle, right? And one thing that kept feeling odd to me is they talk about how the ex Michelle is stalking Ian and Angela. They're married. Angela is pregnant. She's threatening the girl life. She's stalking her. I know when you walk your dog. I know when you leave the house. And it's all kind of like fire and brimstone religious stuff all tied up into these emails. And what I thought was crazy, and I was just side-eyeing at the beginning, and that's why I'm like, you gotta be paying attention to stuff. They talk about how Ian, when he was in a relationship with the ex Michelle, they bought a condo together, which is the condo that he is now living in with his current pregnant wife. And he's tied to her with this condo. The first thing popping in my mind is, well, get rid of the condo. Move out the motherfucking condo. That's literally the first thing that popped in my brain. Get away from the condo. If I have a stalker, and I feel like I have seen people do this in general, because it was a ID show that I used to love that was hosted by this lady, Michelle Ward, who was a victim of being stalked. And the whole show was about people telling their stories about being stalked. The first thing you do when you got motherfucking stalker is you motherfucking move, because they got your address. So you try to move somewhere so they don't know where you at. So that was the first thing that was just odd. Like, if you don't give up this motherfucking condo. And it got to the point where the ex-girlfriend was setting up, and trigger warning. You know, I don't ever do trigger warnings. I'm so sorry. I be forgetting. Look, I was just immersed and born in craziness, child. I've been watching all kind of content, so I be forgetting that we supposed to be doing trigger warnings in this day and age. I'm so sorry. We got the hard R word, you know. So triggers. She is threatening the pregnant wife, Angela. So she is putting, and I feel like I saw this in Criminal Minds, Law and Order. I saw this on something. She is putting up ads on Craigslist. Oh, we got to get into this subsector of humans too. She's putting up ads on Craigslist for grape fantasies. And she's like, oh, what is it called when you, baby, no. Lord, cats just want to jump everywhere. What is it called when, I guess, catfish? She would take the pregnant wife picture, address, put all that on to respond to these great fantasy ads. So she would threaten the lady, I'm sending men to hard R word you. And I'm just thinking, got the motherfucking condo. Got the condo. And something else that I was side-eyeing. Now look, child. I'm all for, you know, all the folks want to be in love, and you know what I'm saying, let the doves fly. But if the only thing tying me to a crazy ass stalker as setting me up to be hard R word ass person is the man I'm in a relationship with, baby, I gotta go. Baby, you and your stalker, you figure that ish out, and then you call me. Like, if all I have to do is move out the condo and exit the relationship, and the crazy ass stalker ain't coming after my black ass, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I got to go. I can't stay here with the crazy. That was some stuff I was side-eyeing. It just did not make sense. And when I tell you they were calling the cops, y'all, this was harassment. The pregnant wife was telling the cops she is like a prisoner in the house. She can't leave the house. And I'm just thinking, bitch, just leave this man. The ex wants this man. Because that's what all the emails are saying. Talking about Adam and Eve and somebody named Lilith. I ain't never heard no motherfucking Lilith in my life. Now, I don't know which religion, which Bible, which sector of Christianity this Lilith comes from. Because I may not be religious, but I feel like I know a lot about Baptist Christians because I was raised in a Southern Black Baptist family, and I ain't never heard no Lilith. Okay, so some context. Apparently, God made Adam and Eve, you know what I'm saying? And there was a wife before Eve, and her name was Lilith. And at first I was like, well, Lilith don't sound so bad. Why y'all did this to Lilith? So Lilith was kicked out of the Garden of Eden because she did not want to obey Adam. And I'm just like, well, I feel you, girl. So that's what's embedded in the emails. It's a lot of fire and brimstone. God will stand above man laws and all kind of stuff. And she's telling the new wife, Angela, you're Eve, but I'm Lilith. I'm his first true, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, it gets crazy. But I'm just like, bitch, if you don't leave this man, like, I'm so sorry. And I've seen stuff like that where people are in a, not I've seen it in real life, but like when I watch stuff, like you're in a relationship with someone and they're being stalked. You are only tied to the stalker because you tied to that stalker's upset. Baby, y'all, I gotta go. Call me when the cops resolve this issue. Call me when the stalker is gone. I can't go through that with no man. And mind you, Ian and Angela have known each other. Y'all, this cat is going crazy, Lord. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me not get distracted. She jumping up on the kitchen counter. But I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? This damn cat done got me. The best friend was in love with Ian. You can't tell me, baby, you can't tell me no different from beginning to end. She still believe you jumping ahead, Danny, but yes. The last one I watched was Unknown Number, when the mom cyberbullies her daughter. I never saw that one. That one got spoiled for me online, and I just didn't care to watch it. Thank you, because the ex-girlfriend fiance was the one who put the money up for the condo in the first place. She can have her shit back ASAP. I'm telling you, but see, this is how, that's why I said it had some good rug pulls. But I immediately was side-eyeing stuff because it just ain't make no sense. Like, get out the damn, I don't need a condo that bad. I don't need a condo that bad. Got the condo, bruh. So Ian keeps talking about being tied to the ex Michelle through the condo. We keep having men come to the house trying to hard R-word Angela. And the thing I also was side-eyeing was, normally, it don't matter how crazy a stalker is, they gonna still try to not get caught. Baby, the ex-girlfriend Michelle was signing her name to every email. And I was just like, bitch, why is you putting your name on these motherfucking emails? It just ain't make no sense. So finally, things escalate to the point where Angela calls the cops because she is physically assaulted. One of these hard R-word, great fantasy ass weirdos done got to her and physically attacked her. And I'm gonna be honest, look, when I first be looking at stuff, I be like Olivia Benson on SVU. I'm always gonna be over there with the victim. But I was like, this ain't sounding right. The man showed up to hard R-word you, slams you against the wall, is holding you against the wall, choking you, bash your head in, and he's verbally telling you he's about to da you. And then he just left. Like, I ain't never been a rapist, but that don't sound right to me. Why would I come to hard R-word you, tell you that's what I'm gonna do? I'm strong arming you, but I don't do it. I was just like, this story ain't because normally it has to be something to make the attacker flee. You fought back, you got the upper hand, somebody else came along, scared. But she just told the story to the cops, and I'm just like, cops, ask her what made the attacker leave. It just wasn't adding up. But still, I was riding with him. I was like, okay, I guess, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. He performance anxiety. He couldn't do it. I don't know. So, and to reiterate, this is all within the span of a few months. Angela and Ian met. Ian broke up from Michelle, met Angela, moved her in, married her, got her pregnant with twins in a span of like a couple months. So they keep, y'all know, they keep going to the cops, keep going to the cops. You know, the cops are always useless. If we don't learn nothing else when we watch stuff like this, the cops are useless. The only time you can call on the cops to do something is once you're dead. Then you can call the cops to do something. They ain't never gonna do ish before that, child. So, but finally it escalated. They go to arrest Michelle, and they take Michelle, they arrest her, and they read a couple emails, and they say, "Did you write this email?" She confesses. I'm just like, oh, okay, the bitch crazy. She just like, yeah, I did. I'm like, you ain't even finna deny it. I mean, just signed your name to all the emails, but still. So she gets locked up, right? Next thing you know, Ian calls up his best friend talking about the picture of the sonogram for the twins is fake. The twins ain't real. The pregnancy not real. Angela done bamboozled him. It was all fraudulent. Well, not it was all fraudulent as far as the harassment, but as far as her being pregnant and who she's supposed to be, she has bamboozled this man, right? Again, I'm side eyeing because he kept calling Angela after he confronted her and she moved out. If I'm in a relationship with somebody who I barely know and they lie about being pregnant, and don't just tell a verbal lie, like they try to gather up stuff to make the lie look real. You giving me a fake sonogram picture? Why are you calling her? Like he kept calling the girl, talking about he still love her. He just want to make sure she okay. None of this was making sense. So now they're doubting the harassment from Michelle. But all I could think was, well, maybe both of the women crazy, because why would Michelle confess to a crime she did not like obviously we know people do confess to crimes they don't commit. You know what I'm saying? That absolutely happens when they get strong armed by police and all that stuff happens. But that's not how this went down. She just confessed. They just asked the bitch, did you see in the emails? And she said yes. So I'm sitting here like, I think maybe they both crazy. Are they both in? Like, what is going on? So Angela is arrested, pleads guilty of all charges, including fraud, false imprisonment. And I was like, who did she imprison? Was it herself? The false imprisonment charge threw me off, and falsely reporting a crime. So Ian has the marriage annulled, and Angela is sentenced to 5 years in prison. Now, Angela being sentenced to 5 years in prison was strange because Michelle was facing life in prison. Now, the only difference I can think of is maybe Michelle was facing life in prison because each time she sent a man to hard R-word that lady, maybe those are all like separate sexual assault charges. Like, you know how something happens and you get charged with like 20 counts of the same crime? That's the only thing I can think of. Because I was like, well, why baby only got 5 years and Michelle was facing life? So now we discover Ian has been a victim of Angela and Michelle has been a victim of Angela, and Angela orchestrated this whole thing, and Angela crazy. So this is when we pop up some people from Angela's past. We get an ex-boyfriend and an ex-friend talking about Angela. The boyfriend talks about meeting, getting a relationship with Angela, moving her in, talking about she ain't like her apartment. So he said, well, just move in with me. Why are grown people, and that be a common thread in these true crime docs about relationships, why do grown behind people move strangers into your home? I can't fathom. Your social security card is in the house, bruh. Like, you got valuables in the house, you got important stuff in the house, you got your birth certificate. Why are y'all moving people into y'all house that y'all don't know? It is so. If you don't like your apartment, I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I can go on Zillow with you. I can go on apartment.com with you and help you find somewhere else. But move you into my place, it's so weird. I just don't understand. But anyway, he's going on about Angela. And you know what? I mean this so unbiased. White people beauty standards are really the funniest thing. white people beauty standards are literally so insane because all you have to do is be skinny and blonde and you beautiful. Like that's it. That's the only criteria is you got to be skinny and blonde. I ain't even gonna go into that. I was gonna say something about somebody I knew, but I ain't gonna do that. The point is they were putting so much emphasis on how hot, how beautiful Angela was. And we see Angela and I'm like, she just looks average. Like she just looks like an average woman. Like why y'all putting all this sauce on how she look? And there's nothing wrong with looking average or looking like an average woman. I'm just an average black woman. I look like an average black woman. And there's nothing wrong with that. But why are y'all putting all this? Like they made it seem like she was just drop dead gorgeous, like the whoever you could Heidi Klum. Like I don't know. I'm just like, it don't take much. Boy, it don't take much to be attractive to white people. I tell you, boy, just be skinny and just have some blonde hair and you in. You in. But they go through this whole thing where Angela ends up telling her boyfriend she's been diagnosed with cancer and she refuses to let him go with her to the doctor. She just says, this is something I have to face on my own. But he continuously starts to feel like it's weird that he can't go with her to the doctor. She has a close friend who shaves her head, like in solidarity with her going through cancer and losing her hair. Well, one day, the friend notices, so Angela is wearing like a cap over her head because she's supposed to be bald. She's going through chemo. And the friend notices she starts tucking hair into the dang cap. Like, and she's just like, wait, something ain't right. And then the boyfriend finally is like, no, I am going with you to the doctor, point blank, period. So he go with her, but she refuses to let him go to the back. So he's sitting in the waiting room and he decided to walk up to the receptionist and be like, hey, what kind of cancer treatments do y'all do here? And she's like, cancer treatments? We do beauty services. And he finds out she was getting a mole. He finds out baby was getting a mole removed from her ankle. So they end up hosting an intervention. And I wish they would have gotten into detail who all these people was at the end. It was like a room full of people at the intervention. I don't know who the people was. And it was one lady who, even after everything was going down, like she was still on Angela's side. She like ushered her out the room when they was really going in on her. But they confront Angela about, we know you ain't got cancer. And Angela is sticking to the grift. And let me tell you, the friend who had cut her hair, she was a real one. She was so mad. And I'd have been mad too. Now, I'd have cut my hair off a lot of times in my life. Like, cut all my hair off a lot of times. However, if I cut my hair off to support you, because you supposed to be going through cancer, oh, baby, I'd have had some clippers at this intervention. I'd have had to take her hair. Like, you want to fake like you lost? Oh, we finna lose some hair around here. Oh, we finna lose some hair. So we end up having, before we knew Michelle was innocent, Michelle pops up on the screen. And honestly, I about fell out when Michelle popped up, because when Michelle pops up in the doc, we think she is the one stalking and harassing, sending these emails, sending these strange men to the house to attack Angela. And I was annoyed because I was like, why y'all put this lady on here? Like, what? Get her out of here. But they start with Michelle talking, and it felt like she was talking from behind bars. Like I said, they usually have to set up a certain way. Michelle started talking about, it's like you don't really know what you just did. I thought I was losing my mind. And I'm like, so the bitch did it. You sent the emails. She goes into how she was online dating. That's how she met Ian. She wanted a white picket fence. I'm just like, where do humans get this stuff from? Like, who was the first person that said something about a white picket fence? Why is that what everybody say? Like, why do we just regurgitate other people's stuff? Like, girl, what are you even talking about? She goes to talk about how she grew up on Disney movies. See, that's what I be. She grew up on Disney movies and all this stuff. And I'm just like, the way humans are programmed, I swear, it just breeds violence and it breeds crazy. It kind of reminds me of, because it's like a lot of people in these true crime docs, women in particular, be getting some crazy ish because they be talking about they want to get married and have the wife. And I just be like, what are you talking about? It reminds me of this one true crime doc I saw where this lady had a great life, wealthy, great career, great friends, living her best life. But she feel like she gotta get married, she gotta have kids. And I told you the common denominator is moving people in, getting relationships, doing all this stuff super fast within a couple of months, child. The man turns out to be so fraudulent and he actually murders the poor lady. And I just couldn't help but think you could have had a nice, long, great life if you were not so relationship obsessed and had this obsession with you have to be married, you have to have kids. And it was actually another true crime documentary I saw where this woman was actually like brilliant. She was like a genius. She was a surgeon. She marries this man who's also a doctor. She quits her practice, becomes a stay-at-home mom, and over the years, the husband is investing in his career, his practice, all kind of stuff. The only thing she's investing in is the family, him, the kids, all that brain power she ain't even using, all the academia. Like, she was literally a genius. Fast forward, the man want to cheat on her and leave her for another woman. Why the woman ends up killing their kids? I think like 2 of the kids survived. She tried to kill all the kids. 2 of the kids survived, and like all the rest, I think like 3 kids died. And of course, that's crazy and tragic, and it's like no excuse for that. But I'm still just thinking about the society that breeds this stuff. Like, you was a brilliant, genius level scholar, surgeon, and you felt you had to give all that up to be married and have kids and be a stay-at-home mom. And I'm just like, it wouldn't have bred this situation that caused you to want to, because she tried to kill the husband first. He survived. She poisoned him. He survived. So then she killed the kids. And I'm just like, again, no excuse, that's terrible. But I'm just thinking in the mind of, I'm literally a small percent of the, anybody can have a baby child. Like, a lot of people can have a baby. Obviously, people have fertility issues, but you get my point. A lot of people can have a baby. Not a lot of people have genius level intelligence. Not a lot of people can be a surgeon. I'm just like, you gave up all of this because and then gave it up and had that man want to leave you when you age for some other one. I'd have been pissed off too. Not to kill the kids, but I'd have been pissed off too. Like, I done gave up everything to. And it was another true crime doc, just like that. The woman gave up her career, became a stay-at-home mom. Now, she didn't kill the child, she killed the husband. But I'm just like, I don't know. I just question. I feel like we just be like, oh, these people do crazy stuff. Oh, this person did something. But I don't know. I just more so question a society that constantly breeds all of this stuff. So the girl is saying she grew up on Disney, child, because apparently Disney is the root of all evil. And she met Ian. Ian was obsessed with Disney too. And he said his favorite princess was Belle. And she reminded him of Belle. You know, it's somebody for everybody. But if a man, a grown behind man, is telling me, why is you talking about your favorite Disney princess? Baby, go to hell. Like, please. Like, I can't. But anyway, so they end up in this whirlwind romance. He comes up with the idea to buy a condo together. She clears out her savings to put a down payment. She puts he don't put no money in that motherfucker. She puts all the money down for the down payment. This is something, Minds are warped. Minds are warped because folks kill me talking about Disney fairy tales and traditional women and relationships. Where in the fairy tale did the princess come up out her coin? Where in the fairy tale did the princess buy the castle for the prince? Where in traditional does the woman put all the money down for the down? Y'all kill me. Y'all kill me because what that got to do with traditional or a Disney fairy tale, baby? That you clearing out your safe, baby. You don't go to hell. Oh, if you don't go to hell. I'm talking about the man, not the lady. But it just is crazy. So Michelle ends up oh yeah, I forgot if I said she ends up released from prison. And she goes to talk. I'm gonna get back to her and Ian, but we gotta go through the dots. So she ends up talking about how the media gleefully like latched on to this narrative of this crazy, insane woman. And when they found out it wasn't her, they just latched on to it being Angela, but no one wanted to talk about the man. And at this point in the documentary, I'm just like, oh God, what now? Oh God, what now? The police put Michelle in prison. She was arrested, put in prison for months. I think they said 88 days. These motherfuckers ain't even know where the motherfucking emails came from. Didn't even trace the motherfucking emails. Like, do the cops ever do any cop work? So Angela is now in prison. And I'm like, well, Angela's now in prison. Did y'all did y'all trace the emails to Angela? Did anybody trace anything? So I forgot to say, Ian works in law enforcement. Ian is a U.S. Marshal. Y'all, when I tell you, I thought I heard something wrong because I was like, wait a minute. I thought Ian was a fraud. I thought they was going to say he wasn't a real U.S. Marshal because Ian met his best friend because they both worked at Disney. And I just was kind of like, how you go from Disney employee at the theme park to a U.S. Marshal? I don't know. That felt so I was just like, wait, how you get from A to B? I thought that was crazy. But no, it wasn't fraudulent. He was actually a U.S. Marshal. He was an employee of the Department of Justice. So I guess, you know how the cops have like internal affairs who investigate stuff with cops? So apparently, if you are an employee of the Department of Justice and there's something that goes down, they have their own internal investigation, right? So we get that guy who pops up. Hey, Nikki, so good to see you again. Hey, Blueberry. It just blows my mind. It really, really does. Every time I hear, I want traditional, the man supposed to lead, I want my Disney fairy tale. And then you coming up out the coin to buy the condo? Bitch, that ain't traditional. And her dad said their family members switched up on Michelle too, believe she did it and cut them off only for her to be innocent. Now, I'm going to be honest. I wasn't mad because I thought Daddy was, at that point in the documentary, I thought Daddy was fooling himself. I said, sir, your daughter confessed. Sir, your daughter is crazy. Sir, because the dad said something about he doesn't do stuff off emotion. He follows logic. He follows evidence. And I was like, well, baby, you moving off emotion right now because this is your daughter. You too close. She did that ish. She did it. But thank God for this investigator who was investigating because Ian was with the Department of Justice. Because the cops just weren't looking at Ian. They just was washing their hands. When I tell you, I be watching movies and I'm always like, you know, it's always the trope in movies where cops are just so useless and dumb. And I always be thinking, are cops really as useless and dumb in real life as they portray them to be in the movies? Yes, they are. But anyway, the investigator gets the case filed, gets the audio recordings of interviews, of body cam footage. And when I tell y'all, it was so insane how off rip he's pointing out stuff in the body cam footage that the cops didn't know. Like the cops, y'all there and they ain't noticed. He's pointing out stuff in the interviews. He immediately points out how it seems like Ian is coaching Angela in her answers. he points out how he notices Ian has animosity towards Michelle. For example, an officer is like, we getting statements, and the officer says something like, "Is this the same girl?" And Ian says the same bitch. Like, he's noticing all these things. So the investigator reaches out to Michelle, and this is when we get the full story from Michelle's point of view. So she's in a relationship with Ian. Both of them love Disney. They go to Disney multiple times a week, child, whatever floats your boat. And Michelle goes to say that one day at work, Ian tells her he wants to talk to her or whatever, and he says he has a fantasy about watching her have sex with other men. And he sends her links to men's profiles on Craigslist. And I'm like, wait a minute, buddy. Craigslist, the same Craigslist where the rapist was coming from. I'm sitting here like, wait a minute, buddy. Wait a minute, buddy. And I know, I can absolutely admit that it is so easy to look at something and be like, oh, I would never. Oh, but baby, how in the world are you in a relationship with a man, a stranger? These relationships was happening at the speed of light. And he tells you, I want you to have sex with other men. And Michelle says he was harassing her about it. Girl, leave the relationship. Like, leave it. I promise you, it is not hard to find a man. Y'all could throw a rock if you're a woman, and you could, girl, go. If you are, I look, I don't judge. I get y'all be lonely and y'all be desperate and y'all be wanting a man. But why do y'all have to scrape the bottom of the girl? Leave this man. Trust me. If you go to the grocery store, a man gonna hit on you. If you trying to get an oil change, a man gonna hit on you. If you trying to walk the dog, a man gonna hit on you. If you trying to paint the house, a man gonna hit on you. If you at the hospital because you need to get a knee replacement surgery, a man gonna hit on you. It is not hard to find a man. I need y'all to please. I do not understand the mind where you do not immediately be like, something is crazy. Oh no, I'm not with this. Oh no, I got to get out of it. I don't. And I have sympathy, and I don't want to be that person on the outside looking in like, oh, I would. But I'm telling, leave, bitch, leave. Like, the story was just getting crazy. I was just like, what the Michelle ends up. Lord, no, and look, I'm not victim blaming in the slightest. I'm really, really not. I have empathy for this lady. But Michelle goes to say he's harassing her to sleep with another man. Harass. Michelle goes to say, I hadn't dated a lot, so I thought maybe this is just what women have to do in relationships. Maybe this was normal. Y'all, at this point in the documentary, I said, lock everybody up. When I tell you, I said, baby, lock everybody up. Where was that in your Disney princess movies? Where did you see Belle or Cinderella sleeping with men in front of the prince? Girl, I hadn't dated a lot. So I thought maybe sleeping with other men in front of my boyfriend was just what women have to do in relationships. Maybe this was normal. I'm telling, I said, baby, lock everybody. I said, put Michelle back, lock her back up. Lock her ass back up because everybody crazy. How in the world do you fix your mind to think? And both our parents are together. Both our parents are still married. So I'm thinking, well, is this what your parents did? How in the world could you I don't care how little you've dated. I don't care if you've never dated ever in life. I halfway feel like I don't care if you're 15. Who in their right mind thinks that this is normal and this is what women have to do in relationships? Are you crazy? Like, are you okay? Are you okay? Y'all, I could not believe she said that. I couldn't believe she said that. Like, I couldn't believe she said that. I literally couldn't believe she said that. So she goes to tell Ian because he keeps harassing her. And I just don't okay, whatever. She goes to tell him, okay, I'll do it. If I do it this once, that's it. I don't ever want to hear about it again. And I'm sitting here thinking, hold on now. Are you, what do you mean? What makes you think if you don't even have the power to tell him no, that you ain't gonna do it, why do you think you have the power to tell him you only gonna do it this once and you don't ever want to hear it again? And like, if you ain't got the power to say no, you don't have the power to put conditions on that. Like, huh? It just not. Everybody was crazy. Everybody was crazy. It just didn't make no sense. It really didn't. I slid down the wall when she said that because, girl, what did you write the show? That's what I'm like. Am I Danny? So I'm not because I'm just like, who? I feel like a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 15. Like, who? I don't care how young I was. I would not have been thinking, oh, this is normal. And women in relationships have sex with other men in front of their boyfriend. This is not what? Like, what? I feel like a sheltered child wouldn't say that. Somebody who grew up sheltered, like it's just the craziest thing. If I ever, and I mean ever, choose traditional life, my husband needs to build us a 5-bedroom, 5-bath house from mostly his own money, build me a rocking chair and some furniture from scratch, all that. But that's my thing. It don't even be a traditional relationship. It don't even be traditional for real. I would have disappeared right then and there, called my daddy for help, and changed my name because he's a U.S. Marshal. And you know what? That's the thing. When I tell you, it's always a stereotype about girls who grow up without their father. And it's astonishing to me how it beat the girls who grew up with their father. Who, you know what? I don't even want to rustle that up. We ain't even go there. But I'm telling you, child, what's the point of the fathers? Because the girls who grew up with the fathers, they be lost as hell. They be lost as hell. Why is the stereotype always on the girls who ain't grow up with their dad? Why? Because it be the girls. Her daddy was right there. Her daddy was right there the whole time she was growing up, and she grew up thinking, maybe my boyfriend want me to sleep with other men in front of him. Maybe that's normal. Maybe that's what all women do in relationships. Daddy was right there the whole time. The whole time. So anyway, she agrees to do it. And she tells us it happened on February 14th. And I'm like, not Valentine's Day, bitch. I'm sorry. I don't laugh at this later. I really don't. Then they get engaged. They bought a condo. Now, I'm going to be honest. I was literally sitting here annoyed. I was watching the dog. I was like, lock Michelle the hell back up. This bitch is lock everybody up. Everybody crazy. But I started feeling bad when Michelle starts crying and saying that she has sex with another guy for him and she feels like a beautiful part of her died. Okay, that hurt my heart. Now that hurt my heart. That made me feel bad. Like I get, and you know what? I do have sympathy and I do completely understand like somebody kind of like breaking you down and pressuring you to do something. But at what point does just some common sense, like I just don't, and I just don't understand. Like I said, they always have the stereotype on the girls raised without a dad, but this girl raised with her dad literally had the self-worth of like a piece of dust. She had the self-worth of a piece of chewing gum. Like it was non-existent. It was non-existent. And I have empathy for that. But baby, you could have avoided so much. You could have avoided so much. Like, oh God, just crazy. Hey, No, I didn't see. I have to check that out. I didn't see. I have been, and I haven't really been on YouTube because I've been doing a lot of stuff. And I actually recently finished writing my very first feature film, my very first feature script. So I'm currently going down the road with all that stuff. No. This is nothing like Swingers. It's a true crime documentary about a toxic love story about a man who really orchestrated a lot of abuse and manipulation trying to get trying to control his girlfriend, and when he can't control her, he gets her locked up in prison for a bunch of crimes she didn't commit. Yeah, it's not a swingers couple or anything. Ashley said the same thing. You got to father. That's why I'm like, we gotta change the stereotypes. Because I'm telling y'all, and it ain't just this lady. I be hearing a lot of these stories being told. The daddies be right there. The daddies be, and I'm just like, if y'all don't stop putting this stuff on the girls who grew up without a dad, because the girls who grew up with the dads is out here being just as batshit crazy. It's just the craziest thing. It just really is. So she agrees to do that. They do it. They get engaged. They buy the condo, all with her money. And Ian starts wanting her to change things about herself. He wants her to get fake nails. He wants her to get her belly button pierced. He thinks it'll be attractive. He wants to change how she dressed. He wants to pick out her outfits. And I'm going to tell you, I've had my friends call me melodramatic for this, but I do not like. Y'all remember that episode of Sex and the City when Samantha gets stood up and it's some guy at the bar with like bad breath and he can't dress and he bald and she really don't like him, but when she stood up or whatever, it wasn't when she was stood up, whatever, she ends up hooking up with this guy and she changes how he dresses, she gives him a makeover. I don't like stuff like that. I always say stuff like that. I guess I'm melodramatic. It's borderline abusive because go be with somebody who dresses how you want. I don't like anything that entails trying to change somebody. Like, I don't care if you don't like how I dress. I don't care if I dress tacky. I don't care if I dress ugly. It's my right to dress how I want to dress. I don't like stuff like that. It really gets into some crazy territory. And this is an example. Like, this is a controlling person. He hasn't been physically abusive, but it's like everything is ramping up. Now he done got you to have sex with another man that you didn't want to do. So now it's like, oh, I can get you to do anything. Oh, now I'm finna change how you look. Oh, now I'm finna tell you to pierce your belly button. Oh, now I'm finna do all kind of stuff. So she goes to say how he was incessantly texting her. He had cameras inside the condo. He would be watching her. He knew where she went, what she did all the time. And everything just got real crazy. One day he takes her engagement ring from her and says she'll get it back when she learns how to act. So he's crazy. And one day she hears him on the phone with the best friend, and she takes that as her moment to dip out, and she go to her parents' house. And this is why I said this wasn't the best Netflix documentary I've seen, because I really feel like there was so much we didn't cover. Because I would really have liked them to ask her, why now? Like, why did you choose this moment to leave and go to your parents' house? Why didn't you go to your parents' house before, like, all these events happened? Why was this the time that you decided to leave and go to your parents' house? Like, I would have really loved to hear her point of view or her rationale for, like, why didn't you leave when he wanted you to have sex with somebody that you didn't want to have sex with? Why didn't you leave when he was making you pay $10,000, put all the money down? Like, all the stuff that was happening, all the control, like, why now? I just would have really loved to have understood, like, why was, because it seemed like, I will say, she wasn't in a physically abusive relationship, but she was in an abusive relationship. And I completely am never on the side of when women are in abusive relationships and they're getting beat, like violent physical abuse, and people are like, well, why didn't you just leave? I'm never that person, because it's not that simple. Like, that's the most dangerous time. Like, people get killed trying to leave. But I would have liked to hear her perspective, because it sounded like it was very easy for her to leave. He was talking on the phone. She got in the car. She went to her parents' house. That was it. That was the end of the relationship. She literally just got up and went to her parents' house, and the relationship was over. Like, it sounded very easy. It wasn't a situation where you had to wait for him to be at the house. You had to wait for him to be asleep. You had to sneak. You know what I mean? I just would really like to understand from her point of view why she didn't leave before that. But anyway, the relationship is over. She has a nervous breakdown. Some Native American people find her wandering in the desert, child, and she's diagnosed with PTSD for what she went through. She does send him 2 emails because she said he was harassing her. All the stuff she went through, it just built up. She was like, spiraling, having a nervous breakdown. And she did send him an email saying God's law is above man's law, and, very fire and brimstone. Then she's at her parents' house. The cops show up to arrest her. So they arrest her when she's pretty much kind of had this nervous breakdown, spiraling out of her mind. She said the cops read her one email, which was the email she sent, and she said, yes, she wrote it, and that was the confession, and they locked her up. And I'm just saying, like, wait a minute. Like, what kind of... look, I ain't never been a cop in my life, but it just don't sound right. Like, okay, don't we need to verify she sent every single solitary harassing email, threatening, rape, and all? Like, how do I just say, okay, you sent this one email? I don't know. It just didn't make any sense. So the investigator who's with the, U.S. Marshals, he tracks down the men from the Great Fantasy who attacked Angela. And that's why I'm like, the cops y'all ain't tracked down the men who was communicating. Y'all ain't tracked down who all the social cyber stuff was coming from. And it ain't like this happened in 1998. This all happened in like 2015, 2013. Like, y'all had the technology to check IP addresses and all that stuff. I don't know, y'all, it was just crazy. But anyway, he tracked down the guy Rick. Now, these Great Fantasy, now this is a whole nother subsector of crazy people. Because I'm not going to kink shame people, like whatever you do with consenting adults or whatever. But how in God's name do you get on the internet and go to somebody's house to grape them? You don't even know this person. Like, I can see if you're in a relationship and you know a person and you're like, hey, I want to pretend like I break in your house. Because that's what the man said. They had Rick on the documentary. He wanted to remain anonymous. He said he a single parent. I was like, oh, God, Jesus. Not you raising kids, bro. But he go to say his fantasy was he wanted to break into a woman's house to grape her. And I'm just like, oh, like, okay, look, I don't want to shame people. But Lord God, Jesus, I don't understand. I don't understand. I just feel like I said, if you know the person, whatever. But why would you do it to a stranger? That don't even make no goddamn motherfucking sense. Anybody could type anything on the internet. But anyway, he tracks down Rick, and they discover that Ian was the Lilith account that was communicating with the Great Fantasy scheme and setting all that up. And the way I'm like, how could the cops not find this out? So then the investigator gets Ian's Department of Justice laptop. Y'all, how was you doing these schemes on your work laptop? How in God? I have a work laptop and I have my personal laptop. I don't do ish on my work laptop that ain't work. Do y'all know? I don't know if this is regular because I've been at the same job for like 100 years. But y'all, do y'all know my employer is able to like get on my laptop? Like, I can see my mouse move, and they can get in the laptop and they can do ish. And I remember them saying that like at any point they can go in to see if you're working. They can see your keystrokes. How in God's name does my little penny ante company I work for can do that? But somebody who works for the Department of Justice, y'all ain't monitoring your employees' motherfucking laptops. This is the work laptop. Y'all, I about fell out. How I'm sitting here like, charge the Department of Justice. Baby, sue everybody. How in God's name can you on your work laptop frame someone for harassing emails and setting up sexual assaults all from your work email? How does your employer not catch wind of this? How does the cops in the investigate? The way the cops just took his word for everything and just arrested 2 people. So finally, Ian is arrested in 2021. He's found guilty on all counts, including stalking, perjury, obstruction of justice. He's sentenced to 10 years in federal prison. And we find out that him and Angela were the ones in on this whole scheme. Michelle had nothing to do with everything she was accused of. She didn't do anything. She was literally just a victim. She didn't do anything at all. We get all of this evidence. All this evidence. This ain't a circumstantial case. This is when the BFF of Ian comes in talking about the one who tried real hard to say we just a platonic relationship, blah, blah, blah. She comes in to say there is no evidence anyone can show me that would make me doubt Ian is innocent. I wouldn't say that about my sibling. Oh, there's some, like, would I just off rip? Do I want to feel like, oh, I know my sibling wouldn't do? Yes, of course. But if you come at me with some stone evidence, damn, oh, my sibling did that shit. Oh, damn, my sibling did that. Like, what do you mean there is no evidence that anyone can show you to make you believe he's guilty? Bitch, he guilty. This is why I said everybody crazy. Everybody. Ian crazy. Angela crazy. The BFF crazy. Michelle is a victim, but Michelle crazy. Everybody was crazy. And I just don't understand how you get your dumb ass up in front of a camera on a Netflix production and stand by the abuser, the person who we all can see was the culprit. Like, there is real deal factual evidence. She running around here like Ian was the Central Park 5. Like, bitch, what the? She act like this nigga is falsely imprisoned. I just couldn't believe it. And she had the nerve. She had the unmitigated gall at the top of this whole documentary to say, oh, I wish everyone would just tell the truth. Bitch, they telling the truth, but you don't want to believe it. I wish everyone would just tell the truth. I feel like Ian was in on everything, including the fake pregnancy. Ian knew that bitch wasn't pregnant. He probably pulled up. He probably the one found the fake sonogram. I just couldn't believe this. Like, I feel like he got sentenced to 10 years. We gonna see Ian and the BFF on Love After Lockup. The investigator comes to the conclusion that Ian wanted to get back at his ex-girlfriend, Michelle, because that's what controlling people do. He was in a relationship with Michelle, had control over her. She leaves, takes his control, and he wanted to get back at her. And he says that Angela was the perfect partner because we already saw the lies and deceitful stuff she does. She is like those Munchausen syndrome people. She loves getting sympathy. She loves being portrayed as a victim, and Ian exploited that. They end up telling us Ian sold the condo in 2016 while Michelle was in prison. She never got her down payment back. She never got any of the money from the condo. They make it a point to tell us that after Michelle spent 88 days in prison, which that still baffles me. I remember seeing something where somebody spent like 2 years in prison. No, not charged, no court date. No, like, What happened to the whole you have the right to a speedy trial? What happened to innocent until proven guilty? But innocent until proven guilty is the biggest sham, because how are you innocent until proven guilty, but you can just languish in prison? It's the craziest thing. But they make it a point to say Michelle was exonerated. She didn't create the Lilith email account. She didn't send any of the emails. She didn't set up nobody to be hard R-word. And she successfully sued the police department, and she sued Ian and Angela, and she was awarded significant damages in 2021. Now, I ended up watching, because I discovered there was a Dateline episode on this situation, and it actually gave us better information than Netflix doc. So if you want to see it, it's season 25, episode 21, and it gave us better context. So when Michelle breaks up with Ian, there ends up being a legal battle over the condo. They both bought the condo together. The condo belongs to both of them. She's the only one who put the down payment down. They end up getting lawyers. They have a legal battle. They end up both getting a settlement agreement that says Ian could stay in the condo, but that he had 6 months to either transfer the deed to solely his name or sell the condo and split the profits with Michelle. As that 6-month deadline was approaching, that is when all the email threats and stalking claims against Michelle towards him and Angela started. Ian makes it clear that he does not want to leave the condo. So Michelle files for a breach of contract, like a lawsuit. And the very next day is when Angela and Ian call the cops saying that she was attacked by one of these men that's supposed to hard R-word her. And they actually apprehended a 17. Oh, there's some crazies in the world. God, I got to share the world with some crazy people. A 17-year-old man who was there for the Great Fantasy ad. The way I'm like, bro, okay, I can't even really get into that. I can't. I can't say what I want to say. So Michelle was out on bail, and she got arrested again on much more serious charges, including the multiple accounts of attempted rape for all the men sent to the condo to attack Angela. And this is the arrest that got the media attention. This is the only arrest that they cover in the Netflix docs. They don't tell us that she got arrested, was out on bail. Then then got arrested again. And that was when she was in prison for like 80. The first time she had like a little bail, she was able to get out. This was the one that got the media attention. This was the one where she faced life in prison, and she had a $1 million bail. And bail, you have to pay 10%. Her parents told her they could either pay the $100,000 bail or they could get her a good lawyer. So they chose to get the good lawyer. While she was in jail, she was getting death threats from other inmates because of the article, because of her trying to, get a woman raped and all kind of stuff. So they end up, she has this lawyer. They go through each and every email. And I'm like, this is what the cops supposed to do. Like, when you're accused of stuff, they can prove that when one of the emails were sent at that exact time, she was in class doing a presentation because she was in college. So it was impossible for her to send that email. But the district attorney still would not drop the charges. The cops and the DA were trying to link Michelle to the emails. They couldn't do it, but they still wouldn't drop the charges. But the attorney was able to get Michelle released instead of her being held on that $1 million bond. And they end up, with that investigator I told y'all about, discovering the emails was all sent from the condo. That was all sent from Ian. So the charges against her were finally officially dropped. And Netflix just told us that she got a significant settlement, not how much. The Dateline episode tells us she got a $1.75 million settlement. And I'll be honest, that wasn't enough money. Her parents talk about how their business went into the toilet. They had a family business. And of course, if everybody thinks your daughter was setting up a pregnant woman to be raped and assaulted by a bunch of men and she's doing all this stuff, they don't want to come, frequent your business. I sat in print. When I tell y'all, one of my worst nightmares is like when I watch like Law and Order or something and the cops show up to arrest somebody and they be on trial and go to jail and then they find out the person innocent. That is literally my worst nightmare. Like prison is my worst nightmare. Like it is literally my worst nightmare. Like I cannot imagine just lottie-dying through life and the police run up on me, arrest me, strip you. They gotta strip you. I gotta go to prison. Now I'm be honest. I think girl prison probably ain't so bad. Man prison is probably worse. You gotta worry about, the different gangs and getting, done like, Tim Robbins and the Shawshank Redemption. Like I feel like it's a lot harder for men. You gotta not be a punk. You gotta walk in there and act hard so they don't prey on you. I kind of feel like what the women in there, I'm sure the women fight, but the women probably in there trying to make some makeup. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I wouldn't feel unsafe. But I don't want to be a motherfucking prick. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, it sounds like the worst thing in the world. This woman sat innocent in prison for months. She was terrorized. 1.75, that's not enough. Do I have to pay? Hold on. Do you have to pay taxes on a settle? When you get a lawsuit settlement, do you pay taxes on? Let me look this up. Is that tax free? Are settlements from lawsuits tax free? Lawsuit settlements are not automatically tax free. Oh, hell no. Nah. Whether they are taxed depends entirely on the type of claim and what the money is meant to compensate. Physical injury, wrongful death, lawsuit, blah, 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 blah. I'm guessing maybe hers was punitive damage. Extra money meant to punish the defendant is, I don't know, but whether it's tax free or taxable. If it's taxable, it's definitely enough money. But that's not enough money for everything she went through. That's not enough money. No shape, where form. No shape, where form. Apparently, child. And I'm telling you, it is just the craziest thing because every time I'm watching something like this, the girl, it's not a fatherless. It's not a fatherless girl. It's always a girl who daddy was right there in the house with her, and I just be like, "Well, baby, what was the daddy doing? What was the daddy doing?" Lazy work from the cops. Man, when I tell you, I'm not going to the cops. First of all, I don't want to get shot, so I ain't going to the cops. Second of all, the cops is you. Every time I see any type of true crime, the cops be so useless. Literally, don't do, like, what are y'all here for? Y'all don't investigate. The detective don't detect. No evidence that would make her believe. I don't have a clue about that woman's political affiliations. I just know she's an idiot. Oh, she's absolutely. That's why I said they're gonna be on love at the lockup. She is corresponding with him in prison. I don't doubt it. She is telling him all kind of stuff in his ear. You innocent. That bitch is crazy. She did it. She got away with it. She put money on his books on the commissary. Oh, she is that person who's just lamenting on the side, hoping that he'll eventually fall in love with her, which he ain't, because he said his favorite princess is Belle, and that ain't you, honey. Sorry. I was just thinking about that too when I watched this, and no matter how much you try to maintain your innocence, nobody believes you. When I tell you, I forgot, what was I watching? Oh, it was some documentary I covered on this channel. I can't remember what it was, but I said, and I remember telling my mama this, because my mama was like, if she's falsely arrested, she ain't waiting for no lawyer. She just want to clear it up. I said, Mama, no, that's how they get you, because you just want to clear it up. I said, I'm not telling you my name without a lawyer. Like, I'm not saying, don't say a motherfucking word without a lawyer. She should have never been in that interview saying yes, that she wrote the emails. Don't ever talk to the cops without a lawyer. Point blank, period. I don't care how simple they trying to say, oh, we just need an alibi. Oh, we just want to clear you. Oh, we just want to know you up. I'm not saying a motherfucking word without a lawyer. Point, get me a motherfucking counsel. The biggest trick ever pulled is only guilty people need a lawyer. Well, what you need a lawyer for if you're innocent? The main motherfuckers who need a lawyer are the ones that are innocent. Don't say a goddamn word without a lawyer. Period. Period. Don't do it. No, women's prison is pretty much... No, it can't be. It can't be. You get beat, cut, or... No, I don't believe it. Bullied and etc. by your fellow women inmates and especially the guards. Now that, yes, 100%. Yes, the guard situation, 1,000,000,000%. Them prison guards be abusing them women inmates, sexually assaulting them. But I feel like the prisoners... If I'm a man going to prison, I'm scared for my life. I'm shaking in my boots because you got all the gangs in there. You got to act real tough. You can't, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like if I'm a woman going to prison, I'm not as scared of the inmates. I just feel like the women don't operate like the men. I feel like the men being there like we is in the animal kingdom. But hey, I ain't never been in prison. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But yes, this was a crazy documentary. But like I said, it is nowhere near the level of crazy we have seen from Netflix. This is nowhere near the worst ex ever. This is nowhere near the twin flame. This is nowhere near the don't pick up the phone. This is nowhere near the bodybuilder lady. This is nowhere near Tinder swindler level. Like, this is not the I Just Killed My Dad Netflix documentary. We done seen some bad-ish, crazy behind stuff when it comes to Netflix documentaries. And as crazy as this was light work. This was truly, truly light work compared to all the other stuff. But thank you guys so much for showing up to the live. I hope you enjoyed the discussion. Yes, Big Erica, watch it. Watch the doc. Watch the doc. They do a lot of rug pulls. I mean, I just spoiled everything, but still, watch it for yourself. And please, adult humans, stop moving in with people you barely know. Oh my God. Like, stop. Stop dating people and immediately moving in with them. And if you a woman, don't pay the whole down payment to buy a house with some man. Baby, if you can put the down payment down by yourself, go buy your own house. Oh yeah, we gotta check the poll. We got a poll in the chat because in the documentary, we got the Disney adults who want to go to Disneyland multiple times a week, obsessed with Disney. And when I saw people on social media talking about the doc, they said they avoid Disney adults because the people raised on Disney are crazy. I was raised on horror movies, so I'm trying to gauge, is being raised on Disney movies making people crazy? Or are people just crazy? So are people raised on Disney movies the root of all evil? Yes, no, or people are stupid without Disney. Y'all, it's literally split even. 33% said yes, being raised on Disney movies is the root of all evil. 33% said no, and 33% said people are stupid without Disney. I guess we still will never know because it's just split even. But what I will say is I'd rather show my child Nightmare on Elm Street than to show my child Cinderella by how these crazy ass people is out here acting. I don't know. I don't know. Like, but humans are lonely. Humans are lonely. Humans are desperate. Humans are idiots. It's like humans like to think we're so evolved as a species and we're so intelligent. No. Humans are stupid as hell. Like stupid. Like genuinely rocks bouncing around in people's head. I just don't understand. I just really don't. And then just get in front of the camera to tell the world that how stupid you been. But you know what? I'm glad y'all do it because I get entertained and I get to come on YouTube and talk about y'all. Thank you so much, guys. I hope I will see y'all in the next one. I hope you have a great weekend. And the next thing we are going to be talking about is Evil Dead Burn. We talked about Obsession and Backrooms. If you missed that, please go check out that live and run those numbers up. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you.